ever had the experience of hearing a word or a term that you've never heard before, but once you hear it, once you read it or see it, it completely changes the way you look at reality? Today in particular, we're going to be talking about watching your words, because the word is life. When you are able to get your language together, when you're able to get the way that you communicate yourself as well as how you take in information, the words around you, in line with what you're calling into your life and business, everything goes so much faster. But if you don't have the words that are in alignment with what you want, you're going to head down the wrong way and fast. So this is all about watching your words. Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, your journey partner from strategicmeditation.com, where I help impact-driven entrepreneurs and leaders like you get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business. My goal is to help you increase your energy so that you can increase your income and impact. So if that speaks to you, make sure you like, subscribe, share, because we're on an amazing new adventure. This is the first of a 5-episode series underneath the umbrella of staying on track. And in this 5-episode series, we're going to especially take a look at the problem and the power of language to create your reality. Our words create our reality. Our thoughts are things, but we're especially talking about words. So keep a lookout for over the next few weeks as we go deeper into this topic. If you're into copywriting, make sure you've subscribed, right? If you're writing emails, make sure you've subscribed. If you're writing social media posts, ads, make sure you are subscribed. Or even if you are getting yourself motivated so that you can take more action in life and business. Your words create your reality. Type that in the comments below. My words create my reality. Type that in the comments below. And we're going to be turning to history, science, and spirit as always to support us in watching our words, as well as watching out for the types of words that are coming to us. Because be kind to yourself if you've been manipulated by others' words, right? Words can hurt. Words can be weapons. Yeah. Sometimes, looking back over the course of my life, it was something that someone said to me that got underneath my skin and started going around and around and around and around and around in my subconscious, started messing with me going forward. And so when I'm able to replace that with positive words to raise the vibration of my internal story, change my words, I was able to change my life in so many different ways. Now, I'm not perfect, but I know that you know what I'm talking about. Has anyone ever said something to you that changed the way you see yourself and your life ever since? Is it the words of your mother, the words of your father, the words of an ex-lover, the words of your child, the words of a client, a colleague, right? Or a teacher, a mentor, authority figure of some type, right? What did they say that kind of haunted you or shaped you? And then on the flip side, thinking, okay, have you ever noticed the power of changing how you describe a situation to yourself? How much more energy you were able to have? How much more excitement everybody had in the room when we all started talking about things in a different way, right? Have you ever tried affirmations and starting your day off believing and saying over and over and over again, I am safe, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am successful, right? Have you ever tried affirmations? Go ahead, type your favorite affirmation in the comments below. Would love to hear it. With that, let's turn to history. And as always, our resource, we'll pick that up, for historical accounts, insights, advice, right? And this Stay on Track series is coming from Think and Grow Rich. We're doing a chapter by chapter study. Been doing it all year. So it's so exciting to continue in that process. And we're actually back to chapter 1, which is Thoughts Are Things. Perfect chapter for us to talk about the power, but also the problem of words. And I want you to listen to the story that Napoleon Hill tells about Henry Ford in particular, and listen for watching your words. Let's do this. The impossible Ford V8 motor. When Henry Ford decided to produce his famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The design was placed on paper, but the engineers agreed to a man that it was simply impossible to cast an 8-cylinder engine block in one piece. Ford said, "Produce it anyway." But they replied, "It's impossible." "Go ahead," Ford commanded, "and stay on the job until you succeed, no matter how much time is required." The engineers went ahead. There was nothing else for them to do if they were to remain on the Ford staff. 6 months went by, nothing happened. Another 6 months passed and still nothing happened. The engineers tried every conceivable plan to carry out the orders, but the thing seemed out of the question. Impossible. At the end of the year, Ford checked with his engineers, and again they informed him that he had found no way to carry out his orders. "Go right ahead, Ford," said Ford. "I want it, and I'll have it." They went ahead, and then, as if by a stroke of magic, the secret was discovered. The Ford determination had won once more. This story may not be described with minute accuracy, but the sum and substance of it is correct. Deduce from it, you who wish to think and grow rich, the secret of the Ford millions, if you can. You'll not have to look very far. Henry Ford was a success because he understood and applied the principles of success. One of these is desire, knowing what one wants. Remember this Ford story as you read and pick out the lines in which the secret of his stupendous achievement have been described. If you can do this, if you can lay your finger on the particular group of principles that made Henry Ford rich, you can equal his achievements in almost any calling for which you are suited. Okay, tying this back to watch your words. Did you catch that? Did you catch what was the problematic word and what was the powerful word? So the problematic word in this reading was impossible. The engineers kept using the word impossible to describe the situation at hand. It's impossible to solve. It's impossible to solve. So that's a problematic word to use, because if it's impossible, that automatically stops you. Not only that, but we have a phrase in Reiki, one of the 5 Reiki principles is, "Just for today, I will not be angry." Kyo dake wa okoru na. Don't be angry, right? And so if you're saying, "This is impossible, we can't do it, this is impossible," you're getting angry, you're getting frustrated, right? And that's not going to propel you forward. That's going to stop you in your tracks. Whereas I'm sure Henry Ford was angry to hear his engineers, who he's paying so much money all year, saying, "Oh, we can't do it." But instead of allowing that anger to stop him or getting emotionally inflamed, he changed the words to describe the situation. He rerouted it. Instead, he said, "Go ahead. Stay on the job until you succeed, no matter how much time is required. Go right ahead. I want it and I'll have it, right? So these are positive words that would propel someone forward of, if there isn't a way yet, I'm gonna find it. If there isn't a way yet, you're gonna find it. Don't let any one person's words, don't let any words inside your head stop you from the natural creative spirit that you have inside of you that knows how to deal with new situations, right? Watch your words. But okay, so that's what history has for us. What about science? Now, over the next 5 episodes, we're going to specifically be looking at large language models, which is a very specific type of AI. ChatGPT, for example, is a large language model. So it's communicating with a computer by using words. And we're going to look at large language models and the research on LLMs, these LLMs for short, to help us understand the power and the problem of words, especially within a coding context. So we use large language models to communicate and code robots, machines, automations. But did you know that we also use language and model language to program ourselves and our children and each other? Hello, marketing. Hello, copywriting. Let's go. So let's take a look at it. Tapping then on why large language models aren't headed toward human-like understanding. They're not. And this comes from sciencenews.org. So generative AI is not very skillful at applying what it learns to new situations. Side note, apparently, neither are we. Unpause, let's keep going. This is written by Tom Siegfried. LLM's arrival has induced a tech world version of mass hysteria among some experts in the field who are concerned that if run amok, LLMs could raise human unemployment, destroy civilization, and put magazine columnists out of business, right? LLMs, GPTs could put everyone out of business because they're so smart, allegedly. Yet other experts argue that such fears are overblown, at least for now. At the heart of the debate is whether LLMs actually understand what they are saying and doing. Do they actually understand it, right? Rather than just seeming to understand. Do they really understand what they're seeing and doing? Or do they just perform? Do they just look like they're acting like a human? Some researchers have suggested that LLMs do understand, can reason like people, or even attain a form of consciousness. But a researcher named Mitchell and others insist that LLMs do not yet really understand the world, at least not in any sort of sense that corresponds to human understanding. LLMs do not possess the ability to perform accurately in situations not encountered in their training. Pause. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means if the robot wasn't programmed to do it and it encounters something to do that it's never been programmed to, it can't do it. It doesn't get it. It doesn't learn. Even though it's been pre-trained, right? That's what the PT and GPT means, generally pre-trained. Unpause. Therefore, Mitchell insists they do not exhibit what humans would regard as understanding of the world. Mitchell says, being reliable and doing the right thing in a new situation is, in my mind, the core of what understanding actually means. And Mitchell said this at an AAS meeting. Human understanding, she says, is based on concepts. Keep this in mind. So concepts, basically mental models of things like categories, situations, events. Concepts allow people to infer cause and effect. We can figure it out. And predict the probable results of different actions, even in circumstances not previously encountered. Mitchell says, what's really remarkable about people, I think, is that we can abstract our concepts to new situations via analogy and metaphor. Pause, what does that mean? So that means the way that humans learn is through categories, situations, and events. That's how we build our concept of the way things are. And because we build our concept of the way things are and the way things work, when new stuff comes our way, we put them in these big concepts, and then we derive ideas and meanings. We pull that out of the concept. We figure it out. Yes? Does that make sense? Right? And we may even relate to those big concepts, situations and events that we've had before. We'll relate to them through analogies and metaphors. How do you know you're using an analogy or metaphor? Whenever you say, oh, it's kind of like X. The kind of like is an analogy and a metaphor. It's helping you and others understand, right? We're talking about understanding. Stay with me. Unpause. She does not deny that AI might someday reach a similar level of intelligent understanding, but machine understanding may turn out to be different from human understanding. Nobody knows what sort of technology might achieve that understanding and what the nature of such understanding might be. When is this from, by the way? This is from 2024, February this year. If it does turn out to be anything like human understanding, it probably won't be based on LLMs, large language models. After all, LLMs learn in the opposite direction from humans. They start out learning the language, the words, and attempt to abstract concepts, right? So rather than understanding how the way things work, they see what are the words, and then they try to figure out the world from the words that they're computing. Unpause. Human babies learn concepts first and only later acquire the language to describe them. So LLMs are doing it backwards. In other words, perhaps reading the internet might not be the correct strategy for acquiring intelligence, artificial or otherwise. Relating this back to watching your words. So what large language model AI teaches us is that it is a problem when you are using words first and allowing them to tell you what the reality is. If you see a term, if you hear a term about something's going on and it's like a new made up term, you gotta be careful, because what that can do, just like the LLMs are showing us, is cause you to have this bias on reality going forward. It's as if you completely forget all of the concepts that you're working with. And what are concepts? Just so that we understand each other. They are categories, situations, and events that you've already experienced. This is the problem and the power of words. And this is why we need to watch our words, because they can literally cause us to have amnesia. Watch out. Watch out for words causing you to forget what already happened, what situations and events that you've seen and been through and learned in the past. It's as if a really great crafted word can cause you to just poof, change on a dime. So don't let words cause you to forget what you already know and what you understand, right? Words can also, as we're going to see now as we turn to spirit, they can affect our emotions. Now, I pulled the tarot card of the day, and it was from the Suit of Water, which has to do with our feelings. Side note, I pulled all of these quotes and cards randomly. So I'm amazed that everything connects, but surprise, surprise, no such thing as coincidence. So it's the 7 of water, right? A complex decision, the need to do research. Stop procrastinating. And it's coming, boop, as a challenger. So this means we're resisting the fact that water, we are emotionally triggered or emotionally active. And number 7 has to do with research, understanding, learning, investigation. We're resisting fact checking. We're resisting going back and remembering our history. We're resisting the actual data. And out of this entire card, there's 7 lights on it. This bright one on the side here was the one that spoke to me, and that one's for the throat chakra. I'm going to read to you. You may be faced with a complex decision, and it's difficult to choose between the options available to you. Do the research necessary or seek counsel from a mentor. Right here, if you need help, happy to mentor. It's time to stop procrastinating and get busy. If you're drawn to a particular cup depicted on this card, its chakra color meaning, and its chakra color holds meaning and offers guidance as you're making your choices. And I'm going to skip to the light blue, means communication and truth telling. Try to focus and avoid unrealistic expectations. Additional meanings of this card. Too many options, confusion, fantasies, imagination running wild, and addictions. So tying this back to watch your words. Apparently, I'm just going to speak what I'm hearing to say. Apparently, you heard about something or someone told you something, and the word that they used triggered you emotionally. So much that you completely forgot what you stand for, what you're working towards, what your own needs are. Because you completely forget history and things that actually happened. It's as if the term or the word or the name, they named something that they came up with. I don't know who, maybe it's social media or the media or a friend or a family member or a client, a colleague. They came up with a word. They're using a word that is so emotionally inflammatory that it's causing you to forget who you really are and to overlook the truth. So do your research. Stop resisting, right? Upside down means we are challenged, as in invited to. Stop resisting. You are invited. You are invited to do your research. Fact check the truth about your Facebook ads. Fact check the truth about what your teenager said they did that night. Fact check the truth about who you are and what you believe, right? Fact check the truth about what works best in your business, your family, your body, right? Fact check the truth about what macros your body needs, right? Be kind to yourself. This is your job. No one's going to do it for you. And I'm hearing from my guides to say they are going to tell you that they are going to do it for you. You think you have other people fact checking the truth for you, but actually they are just telling you their version of the truth. Watch your words, watch their words, right? It's all about vigilance this day, this week in particular. With that, it's time for the action step of the day. So I want you to go and log on to school now, to skool.com/Be Visionary Movement. And you're going to go into our vault, and the strategic meditation of the week for Watch Your Words is you're going to put in the search bar, Helpful Hands of Light. Again, that's Helpful Hands of Light. You're going to type that in the top. It's going to come up. It's in the mental clarity category of our vault of visualizations. It's 16 minutes. And what you're going to do is with this strategic meditation, so now you've got all of the information right from today's business energy flow forecast. Happy to tell you all the things, absolutely. But not only do you need to see it and hear it, you need to feel it. And that's why we do strategic meditation. So with the helpful hands of light meditation, what that's going to do is help you feel yourself surrounded by support, right? As well as becoming clear and conscious light. So do that 16-minute meditation once a day. That's your action step of the week. And okay, so we've come to the end of this week's video, and you may be thinking to yourself, Victoria, this is like so thought-provoking. I'm not ready for school yet, but I have more questions about watching my words, and you're talking about AI and large language models. Like what? I have more questions. That's totally cool. Go ahead, click the link for the contact in the description of this video. Hop on my calendar, right? It's a complimentary half-hour call. Let's talk and see how I can help, or if I know someone who can help get you the clarity that you are seeking. Remember, you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life, in business. Mwah. Big hugs and love. Sensei Victoria Whitfield from strategicmeditation.com. Share this, right? If you got to the end of the video, that means you must have enjoyed this. And that also means there's at least one other person who could benefit from hearing this message. Hit the share button, share it on your page's social media or with someone that you care about. And that would help me out so much to reach more people with this positive information. Big hugs. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.